Miss, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you either. Okay, I'll just try and log out and go back in. Oh, okay. Okay.
Can you hear me now? Uh-oh. I gotta turn the sound down.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be my voice, my mouth and my voice are gonna be off, but I don't know. So I can't do anything about that right now.
I'm not sure if Sandra was trying to talk, but I didn't hear her say anything.
Oh, she's probably on mute.
Oh, okay. Well, I can hear you better on this one.
Good, good. So what I have to do is I have to, that's why I'm on here too. I have to do my phone for volume until I can get my computer fixed.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Hey, Clarissa. Hey, Takesha. How y'all doing?
I'm okay.
Hey. Sandy, I can't hear you. Are you on mute? To everyone, no. I can't hear you. I don't know. Oh, she can't get her mic to work. Okay. Okay. Let's see if anybody else is coming in. So I got a couple of people that are here in the classroom. They're so excited. Woo-hoo, because they got to look at the arm today, the mannequin, because we're going to be starting venipuncture. Yay. Aren't you excited? Are you guys excited? I don't know.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Good. All right.
I'm excited too. I'm just nervous I won't be good at it.
Oh, you're going to be just fine.
Okay.
You'll be just fine. Mm-mm. I don't know if anybody else is coming in. Let's see. Whew. Who else is missing the shoes?
Is everybody else just in class?
No, just two people. Sharon is here and Anna is here. But I do have a couple of people that it seems like a lot of people have been kind of like sick or something, you know. So
It's gonna get worse with flu season, so hopefully everybody's safe.
hopefully, I'm trying to show you who's here. If it'll switch over, I can't switch it. There we go. No, you gonna do the right thing? Yep. See, Anna is here. Sharon is here. Oh, it looks so junky in here. I'm gonna be getting some new cabinets. I'm excited about that. Woo-hoo.
Ooh, setting it up.
Yes, yes, all kinds of new stuff. Yes, I'm gonna have to call you guys to see who can come in and help me to get this situated.
Oh, What about those fall decorations, Miss?
Fall decorations, you and fall decorations. What? Now you're gonna want me to decorate for Christmas too. I don't know.
Yes, of course.
I don't know. We'll see. I told you could wear something for Halloween. It's October the 1st. Oh my God.
I know it's so chilly outside for Florida.
It is.
It's a little windy.
Temperature, I don't know. I know it's like at least in the 70s, right? Ooh, 75.
That's
Chilly.
I'm excited.
Okay, what's in Syracuse temperature? Woo-hoo. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's probably 40 something in Erie. Where I'm from in Pennsylvania, Sharon said it's 63 degrees where she's from in upstate New York. And where I'm from, it's probably like in the 50s or something like that. They would laugh at us if we said 70 was cold.
Same with Michigan.
Michigan, I know Michigan would, yeah.
Right now it's 55 in Michigan.
55. 54. Yeah, 54 in Erie. So she said 55. Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. Erie, this is my hometown. A couple years ago, I want to say 3-4 years ago, they hit worldwide records for the amount of snow that they got across the world. It was like on the international news. I'll have to see if I can find the picture so that I can show you guys what I came from. It's crazy. I don't miss the snow, okay? You don't miss snow? Have you ever seen snow, Rebecca?
Yes, my family's from New York. Okay.
Oh,
And I used to live in Detroit. I love the snow. But I feel like when it snows, it's like a different type of cold. Like it's less cold than it is when it's not snowing. That's how I feel. Like when it's settled.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. But I love the beach too. I can't live both lives.
I can't do the cold.
Yeah, I miss the snow because it's pretty, but like then it would be pretty for a minute and then it would start like raining, then everything would ice over and then I got
I don't know about driving like that. That's kind of scary. I haven't driven in snow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. I think she gave us that one. Hello, Marie. Hello, Maria. Hello, Girlie.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's your son feeling?
He's over here talking.
Okay.
Getting into everything.
Hey, how you doing? Oh my goodness! Wow.
You say hi.
Hi. Hey, how are you?
Huh?
How are you? You feeling better? You feel better?
He said no.
No. Eating that corn dog. Is that a corn dog?
It's a pancake sausage.
Oh, okay. Well, he eating that pancake sausage, so he must be feeling all right.
He's doing a little better. They still want me to look at his ears to make sure it's going away a little bit, but he still has the double infection.
Wow, the antibiotics kicked in probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, I just wanted to talk to you guys about, of course, you know, we're going into venipuncture. And so I do have a couple of PowerPoints I wanted to share with you. And we will talk about those. First of all, I am going to be sometime after the Zoom, I'll be sending out that exam to you guys for today, for this week. I decided I was going to send it out today, Marie, instead of tomorrow, so I can get it back. Because they've been getting on me about getting my grades in. I have to get my grades in by tomorrow. So
when we gotta have it done by?
I need it by 12 o'clock. Yeah. No,
Midnight?
not midnight.
What?
Yeah, 12 o'clock tomorrow. 12 o'clock tomorrow by noon. Okay. So I need it back by noon tomorrow.
So what is the exam on?
It should be on the chapters that you did your homework.
Okay, so when do you want the homework? Because I missed that.
Homework is due Friday.
Friday, okay.
Everything's due Friday, right?
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll just start fresh on Monday. That's so nice to give you a nice break over the weekend.
I guess I don't have a break over the weekend.
Don't worry, I don't either.
You won't have anything for me anyway, so I don't know. All right, so I am yeah, we're gonna do that. And then I need for you guys, if you have not already gotten your vital signs done, when you come in on Monday, I need you to do your Survey Monkey questions. I need you to wash your hands the way I want you to wash your hands. And I'm going to be watching for that. And I also need for you to get, those of you who need to get your vital signs done, please do so. Please do so. So that we can go on and do some other things besides vital signs. We want to do other things. But I need for y'all to get that done. All right. Like I said, I will be looking for homeworks, and we'll just go from there. Any questions, any issues, comments, or concerns?
I have a doctor's appointment today. I just have to leave Zoom like 15 minutes early.
Okay, no
All right.
worries.
Thank you.
All right, so the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is chapter 9, which is the circulatory and lymphatic system. Circulatory and lymphatic system, and lymphatic and immune systems. This says chapter 7 in your medical terminology book, but I don't think that these match. And that's the reason that I'm going over these, because I'm not sure that you guys already got this information.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So for the homework that you want Friday, are those chapters 1 through 5?
In the phlebotomy book.
See, what happened was I did the first and second chapter in the medical terminology book.
Right.
And then 3, 4, and 5 in the phlebotomy book.
Okay, well then you just need to do 1 and 2 in the phlebotomy book.
So that's adding extra?
No, it's supposed to be chapter 1 and 2 in the medical terminology book, and then chapter 1 through 5 in the phlebotomy book. That's what yeah, 7 chapters, but it should not be as long as whatever you were doing before. The workbook, I don't think it's as long as the workbook.
So I need to do 1 and 2, chapter 1 and 2 in the phlebotomy book as well?
Yes, please. Not just you.
Okay.
Not just you.
Because I was confused because I did it in the medical terminology book. I didn't know we had to do it in the phlebotomy book as well. Okay.
It actually gave you quite a few more chapters, but we're not going to do those. No, that's enough. So it's just 1 and 2 in medical terminology and 1 through 5 in the phlebotomy book.
Okay. Because the 1 and 2 in the phlebotomy book might, I don't know if I'm gonna have it done by Friday. I can try and get it done by Friday.
Do the best you can.
Okay.
So in the overview of the circulatory system, you're going to describe the circulation of blood from the heart to the lungs and other body tissues. Differentiate arteries, veins, and capillaries. Locate the major arteries and veins of the human body. Define systole and diastole, and sphygmomanometer. Those should be familiar terms to you. List and define at least 10 diseases of the heart and blood vessels. Circulatory system. The pulmonary circulatory circulation carries blood between the heart and lungs for gas exchange. The systemic circulation carries blood between the heart and the rest of the body tissues. So the heart actually, we talked about in systolic pressure, that it's talking about when the heart is contracting and pushing blood out to the rest of the body. So this just lets you know that the heart actually pushes blood out in two different directions. So it pushes blood out to the lungs so that it can get oxygenated, and then it pushes blood back to the out to the rest of the body, so that it can carry the oxygen and nutrition wherever it is it needs to go. Here is an example of the blood flow through the heart. All right, so here you have the left atrium, which is up here, and the left ventricle. And then you have up here, back it's kind of hard to see, but there is a right atrium and a right ventricle. So there's 4 chambers in the heart. You can't really tell it from this photo, but there are 4 chambers in the heart. I feel like I'm squinching. I am squinching enough. All right. And so what happens is the blood, where should we start? Deoxygenated blood comes from the body, from the kidneys, from the liver, from the digestive tract, and it goes up through the inferior vena cava. So this is the iliac vein, which is right around the pelvic region. The renal vein, which is coming from the kidneys. Renal is having to do with kidneys. The hepatic vein, which is coming from the liver. The hepatoportal vein, which is coming from the digestive tract, as well as pulling some from the liver as well, up the inferior vena cava. And this is the main blood vessel that carries blood back to the heart. Goes into this right atrium, down to the right ventricle, and then out to the lungs. Out to the lungs. And so even here, this is up in the head and the arms. Blood vessels carry blood down through the jugular vein, and down into the heart as well. This is going into the right atrium and then up, the right ventricle, up to the right atrium. Into the right atrium, up to the right, down to the right ventricle, and up to the lungs, or out to the lungs. It's out to the lungs. The lungs put oxygen in the blood. The blood is then pumped through the pulmonary vein back to the heart, into the left ventricle, out the aorta, which is the largest vein artery in the body, and down the descending aorta into the rest of the body. Y'all see that?
Yes.
This is the carotid artery here, going up to the head and the arms, descending aorta. The mesenteric artery goes into the digestive tract. And then of course the lymphatic system is working along with this as well. Woo, I wish I could go over it more extensively. The heart is a muscular double pump located in the thoracic cavity and surrounded by a thin membranous sac, the pericardium. The heart wall has 3 layers. It has the epicardium, the myocardium, and the endocardium. The epicardium is the outer layer of the heart. The myocardium is the thick middle layer of the heart. And the endocardium is the innermost layer of the heart. Y'all want to maybe want to take some notes about this. So this is what it's talking about here. This outer layer. Sharon, are you on it? Do you want to get on the Zoom and you can see it? You just have to put yourself on mute. Okay. So this outer layer here, these are the different parts of the heart. So this aorta actually comes out of that left ventricle to the rest of the body, the aorta, and these throughout these blood vessels, blood flows all the way through to the upper portion of the body. Okay. These are the pulmonary arteries. This is a pulmonary valve right here. It actually controls the flow of the blood. You have pulmonary veins. The pulmonary veins actually pull oxygen back into the heart. There is the left atrium. It's over here. You have the aortic valve here. The mitral valve that goes between the left and right atrium, the left and right ventricle, left and atrium and the left ventricle, the mitral valve, left atrium, left ventricle. This is the left ventricle here. And the interventricular septum is between the right and left ventral. And so this aorta actually goes back behind the heart and down to the rest of the body, carries blood from there, the oxygenated blood. This is that inferior vena cava that's bringing blood back to the heart, into that right atrium. The tricuspid valve is the valve between the right atrium and the right ventricle. And then let's see, what else did I show you? I think I showed you everything else. And this superior vena, the superior vena cava actually brings blood back to the heart from the upper portion, the head and the neck and the upper portion of the body. So you have 4 valves, and you have 4 chambers. So that's the left atrium, the left ventricle, the right atrium, and the right ventricle. It would be easier if you guys are here, you can look at the heart when you come in and see it. That's aorta that carries the oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. These pulmonary arteries and the superior and inferior vena cava. The 4 chambers of the heart are the left and right atria and the left and right ventricles. The tricuspid valve separates the right atrium and the right ventricle. And the right ventricle separates the left atrium
from the left ventricle.
Right. Right, from the left ventricle. The aortic semilunar valve separates the left ventricle from the aorta. So when the blood is going in, there's the different there's actually, you can hear, if you have enough magnification, you can actually hear the valves opening and closing as the heart contracts and relaxes. Contraction of the right ventricle forces blood out through the pulmonary semilunar valve, through the pulmonary trunk, and into the left and right pulmonary arteries. Returning to the heart via the left and right pulmonary veins, oxygenated blood enters the left atrium. Contraction of the left atrium forces blood through the mitral valve into the left ventricle. Each heartbeat or cardiac cycle includes a contraction and relaxation of each chamber. Distally, contraction develops pressure and forces blood through the system. That's where we get the term systolic. Diastole, or relaxation, allows the chamber to fill again. That's where we get the term diastolic. The two atria contract together as do the two ventricles. So when you hear the two different sounds, if you're listening to the heart, you'll hear a boom, 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 boom. That's the atria contracting together, and then the ventricles contracting together. The atria and then the ventricles. Blood pressure is measured by a sphygmomanometer, which we already know about. This is a measure of the force of blood on the arterial wall. Blood pressure is given as the ratio of ventricular systole to diastole pressure. So it's just telling you about the pressure in the heart or in the atrial wall when blood is being pumped out, and the pressure in the heart or the atrial wall when the heart is relaxed and the blood is coming back in. Arteries and veins have 3 layers that surround the lumen. So the lumen is actually the center part of the artery or vein, the blood vessel. The tunica adventitia, or outer layer, the tunica media or medial layer, and the tunica intima or inner layer. You will notice that most of the internal organs have this 3-layer system. So they're going to have an outer layer, they're going to have a middle layer, and an inner lining or inner layer. Capillaries have only the tunica intima. So I guess we'll talk about what the different types of blood vessels. So arteries are the blood vessels that actually lead from the heart. These are the blood vessels that carry blood from the heart to the rest of the body. Arteries carry blood from the heart to the rest of the body. Veins carry blood from the rest of the body back to the heart. Okay, arteries carry blood to the rest of the body. Veins carry blood back from the rest of the body. And then the capillaries are the feeders, in a sense, the feeders and the gatherers. So when the arteries send the blood to the rest of the body, it's at the capillary level that the exchange between the cells takes place. And then, so the capillaries there, they drop off the oxygenated, nutrient-filled blood to the cells of the body. And then they also pick up the deoxygenated blood with the waste from the cells. So actually they probably do the work, huh? And then each one of these is an example of, or is describing the inner workings of the arteries and the veins. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Arteries have a thick muscular wall that can expand when blood is pumped into them and then contract to maintain flow and pressure during diastole. Arteries are located deeper than veins, but can be found by feeling for a pulse. So when you feel a pulse, that is not a vein, that is an artery. If you are doing venipuncture and you feel a pulse, well, you're not going to be going that deep. Arteries branch into smaller arterioles, which branch to form capillaries. So remember I told you that it is the artery, it's like they're like branches throughout the body. And these are the major arteries. All of these. So maxillary actually goes to the jaw. You have the facial one, the external carotid, the common carotid, either one of these go head and neck. These are arteries from the heart. The subclavian, a lot of times patients who are in the ICU, they have catheters that are inserted into their subclavian subclavian area. Axillary has to do with under the arm. Pulmonary has to do with the lungs. The intercostals intercostal has to do with the ribs. The brachial artery here, the renal goes to the kidneys. The gonadal goes to the sexual or reproductive organs. The inferior mesenteric goes into the colon or the rectal area. The radial artery on the thumb side of the wrist here or arm. The ulnar on the pinky side. The deep palm arch, the superficial palmar arch. Let's see, the posterior tibial, anterior tibial, the popliteal that has to do with around the knee. The femoral is coming up through the thigh. The deep femoral is in the thigh. The interiliac, that's around the hip. The right common iliac, the abdominal aorta, that's around the abdomen, the stomach. Supramesenteric, that's going into the small intestine. Superior mesenteric, probably large intestine, I wouldn't say. Inferior probably goes to the small intestine. The splenic goes to the spleen. The hepatic goes to the liver. The left gastric goes into the stomach. The celiac is in the stomach as well. Aortic arch, we talked about that. It comes directly out of the heart. And all of these other arteries branch off of the aorta. The brachiocephalic, that is the one that goes through the head and neck and into the arm. Vertebral goes to the spine. Internal carotid going up to the brain again. And the occipital is going to the eye. All of these terms are related to or connected to the different parts of the body. The medical terminology for different parts of the body. The single layer of cells allows rapid diffusion of gases and nutrients between tissues and blood. This is in the capillaries, across the capillary membrane. In its chemical composition, capillary blood is more similar to arterial blood than to venous blood, especially in warmed tissue where blood flow is rapid. Veins carry blood toward the heart. Venules join to form larger veins. Veins have thinner walls and less muscle than arteries. Veins have valves within them at various points along their length that are pushed closed when blood flows back against them. So the valves that are in the veins, their intention is to prevent the blood from going backwards. The objective is for the blood to go up to the heart. Okay? Or back to the heart, not necessarily up. Okay. And these are major veins. Once again, these are all the same areas in a sense. This, the carotid vein, the brachiocephalic, all of these. I'm going to send this PowerPoint to you guys so you can kind of look over it. Veins of the antecubital fossa. There are 3 superficial veins on the anterior surface. They're used for blood draws. These are the cephalic, the median, and the basilic veins. These are the veins of the antecubital fossa. So this space that we talked about here, where you do your blood pressures at, that's called the antecubital fossa or antecubital space. So here you have your basilic vein. This one comes around the outside. That median cubital vein and your cephalic vein along the sides here. Disorders of the heart and blood vessels. You have aneurysm. An aneurysm is a bulge in a blood vessel. It's like a balloon on the side of a blood vessel. Or if you get a weak spot, like say if you had a tire and it kind of bubbled out a little bit, or a balloon, and you had a little bubble on the side, it's a weakened area, usually an artery. It's caused by weakening of the wall or hypertension. Without surgical correction, aneurysms can burst and the person can die bleeding internally. Arteriosclerosis is an accumulation of fatty deposits on the tunica intima of arteries, causing thickening and toughening of the arterial wall. A loss of elasticity increases strain on the artery and may lead to a myocardial infarction, an MI, or a stroke. What is does anybody know what a myocardial infarction is, or MI?
Isn't it a heart attack?
It is a heart attack. It is a heart attack. Yeah. A stroke is a loss of blood to the brain as a result of either hemorrhage. Hemorrhage, of course, is bleeding, or more commonly, blocked circulation. Blocked circulation. Anybody remember the abbreviations or the term, the medical term for a stroke?
Is it?
It's actually 2 different abbreviations terms.
Oh, abbreviations? I'm not sure.
Either one. What do you want to do? Either one. Anybody want to take a guess?
I thought it was embolism, but I may be wrong. That sounds totally wrong. Forget me.
An embolism could have something to do with it, but that's something different. Sharon's looking it up now.
I forgot, and I've heard it so many times.
It's cardiovascular. What is it? A TIA is a mini stroke, but a CVA, a cardiovascular accident, is a stroke. Is a stroke. A CVA, or cardiovascular accident, is a stroke. A TIA is a transient ischemic attack and that is a mini stroke. Generally speaking, a patient quickly recovers from a TIA, but a CVA generally has longer lasting effect from that. In the heart, you can have bacterial infection called pericarditis, is an infection of the pericardium, and endocarditis is an infection of the endocardium. You can have congestive heart failure, which is inadequate heart output leading to edema of the peripheral tissues. Actually, congestive heart failure can cause a backup of fluid to not just the peripheral tissues, not just the legs and arms, but also fluid can back up into the lungs as well. In a severe case, congestive heart failure, lungs and abdomen, all kinds of things. Coronary artery disease is any type of degenerative change in the coronary arteries, including coronary atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is hardening of the arteries. An MI is death of heart muscle cells as a result of an interruption in blood supply, also known as a heart attack. A myocardial infarction. So actually, when you're having a heart attack or a person is having a heart attack, a portion of their heart tissue is actually dies. Rheumatic heart disease is an autoimmune disease affecting cardiac tissue caused by a previous streptococcal infection elsewhere in the body. Valvular heart disease is a thickening and calcification of a valve that causes stenosis or hardening or narrowing of the passage through the valve and incomplete closure. This causes heart murmur and may lead to congestive heart failure. So patients who have problems with the valves in their heart, those valves can become hardened and the passageway can be narrowed. And a lot of times when they have issues with the valve, if you listen to the apical pulse, you'll hear a swish in between the beats, which means that the heart is leaking through. It's not, the valves are not, they're supposed to close all the way to prevent the blood from leaking from one chamber to another or any other area. Veins, you can have hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are swollen veins in the wall of the anus, often resulting from prolonged exertion or pressure during defecation. Defecation is another term for having a bowel movement. I don't have to explain what having a bowel movement means, right? I don't know. Veins, varicose veins, they are veins that are tortuous and dilated because of swelling and loss of function of valves, often caused by prolonged sitting or standing. Anybody know anybody with varicose veins? Have you ever seen varicose veins?
Yes, my mom has some.
Yeah. Blood and the lymphatic system. This describes the components of whole blood, describes the 3 cellular elements of the blood, including the major functions, and explains the process of hemostasis. For red blood cells, white blood cells, and hemostasis, list at least 3 different diseases that affect each one. So this RBC, these are some more abbreviations that you guys want to remember. RBC is red blood cells. RBC is red blood cells, and WBC is white blood cells. Yeah. You're going to describe laboratory tests that may be used to detect diseases of RBCs, WBCs, and hemostasis. Differentiate lymphatic circulation from that of blood. Explain the functions of the lymphatic system. Differentiate among nonspecific humoral and cellular immunity. And describe the function of T and B cells. Anybody remember when we, those of you who have been with me for a little bit, what disease process is the T cell affected or affects the T cell directly? Anybody remember? You watched you did a whole exam on it. The T cell in the blood, in the immune system.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. I know it.
It's a very well-known disease process. All right, y'all think about it. No? Blood is composed of plasma, the liquid portion, and cellular components called the formed elements. So this is here, blood, the liquid portion, the plasma, and the formed elements. Okay, the plasma is going to be like a yellowish white, like a yellowish color. There are leukocytes and thrombocytes. Those are from the immune system. Platelets, and then there are the erythrocytes. Erythrocytes is referring to red blood cells. Erythro is a prefix that means red. All right. Plasma is composed of 90% water and 10% dissolved proteins, amino acids, gases, electrolytes, sugars. Yes, it is AIDS. Very good. Clarissa, it's AIDS. That's affecting the T cells. That's HIV and AIDS. Dissolved proteins, amino acids, gases, electrolytes, sugars, hormones, lipids, and vitamins. The most significant elements of plasma are albumin, immunoglobulins or antibodies, and fibrinogen. Plasma also contains complement and electrolytes. This is, as you know, there are several clinics around the country. I don't know, maybe around the world, where they actually collect plasma for patients who are in need, to give to patients who are in need. Serum is plasma without its clotting factors. Serum is formed when blood is collected in a glass or plastic tube and is induced to clot. The conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin forms strands that trap all of the cellular elements. And that's a lot right there. I don't know. Formed elements comprise 45% of blood volume. Of these, 99% are red blood cells, with white blood cells and platelets making up the rest. RBCs carry hemoglobin, the iron-containing oxygen transport protein that gives blood its red color. So red blood cells carry hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the portion of the blood, is a protein in the blood that carries the oxygen. And it also gives the blood its red color. There are 5 million red blood cells in a microliter of whole blood. A single red blood cell remains in the peripheral circulation about 120 days before being removed by the liver, bone marrow, or spleen. Isn't that interesting? White blood cells protect the body against infection. There are 5,000 to 10,000 white blood cells in a microliter of whole blood. At any time, most white blood cells are not in the blood, but in the peripheral tissues and lymphatic system. White blood cell life cycles vary depending upon the type. There are 5 types of white blood cells. You have neutrophils, you have eosinophils, you have basophils, you have monocytes, and lymphocytes. These are white stain smears that are showing you what blood looks like under a microscope, or different white blood cells. Right stain smears. And there's some more. Platelets are created in the bone marrow from megakaryocytes. Every 1 milliliter of blood contains approximately 200,000 platelets, each of which remains in circulation for 9 to 12 days. So, as you see, your body doesn't just keep the same blood your whole life. It actually is constantly being used and discarded and reproduced. And these are platelets. Hemostasis refers to the process by which the blood vessels are repaired after injury. There are 4 phases. You have vascular phases, platelet phases, coagulation phase, and fibrinolysis. A rupture of a vein or artery causes an immediate vascular spasm or contraction of the smooth muscle lining the vessel. This reduces the vessel diameter, substantially reducing the blood loss that would otherwise occur. So if a blood vessel is ruptured or punctured or broken, it's actually the body immediately goes in response to begin the repair of that blood vessel and to diminish the loss of blood. Platelet phase, aggregating platelets become activated, releasing factors that promote fibrin accumulation in the next phase. The combination of the vascular phase and the platelet phase is called primary hemostasis. And then it talks about the coagulation phase. I'm not going to go through all this stuff. And fibrinolysis is actually when the clots are formed. You have the lymphatic system. It includes the lymphatic vessels, veins, capillaries, ducts, lymph nodes, and several organs, plus the lymph fluid flowing through the vessels. The lymphatic system returns tissue fluid to the circulatory system, in the process screening it for signs of infection, and provides a passageway for lymphocytes patrolling the tissues. So the lymphatic system actually is kind of the monitor of the immune system, helping to protect the body against infection. Lymphedema is an accumulation of interstitial fluid or fluid in between the cells as a result of a blocked lymphatic vessel. Elephantiasis or elephantitis is a severe form of lymphedema. I don't know if you've ever seen, but this is when individuals have their lower portion of their leg can be bigger than their thigh, all the way down to the ankle, to the foot even. Lymphoma is a tumor of a lymph gland. Hodgkin's disease is a type of lymphoma. Nonspecific immunity refers to defense against infectious agents. Nonspecific immunity includes physical barriers, the complement system, and phagocytes, which are white blood cells. which engulf and destroy foreign cells without regard to their exact identity. And this one here, specific immunity involves recognition of antigens on the surface of a foreign agent. Recognition of these antigens triggers activation of T cells and B cells. And we talked about the T cells that are actually affected most by HIV and AIDS. And antibody-based immunity is B cell-based immunity, or in other words, the B cell recognizes the pathogen that's coming into the body, and it helps to form antibodies that help to fight off that infection. And then it goes on in talking about some more stuff. These are blood disorders, disorders of the immune system, and all of that. So I did want you guys to at least have a general idea of that. I will send you out this PowerPoint. I'm gonna do that right now before I forget. Anybody, any questions? Yeah. Any questions? All right, so just so that you can have a general idea of what's happening in the circulatory system when the blood is flowing through. No. And power. I also have a PowerPoint that I want you guys to look at that talks about the where is it at? Yeah, venipuncture and the equipment. I was hoping I'd get to it, but this one took a little bit too long. So anybody, any questions about that, the circulatory system? All right.
One question.
Yes.
On one of the notes that I took, I put that vein valves prevent blood from going back to the heart. But then on another note, I put that veins carry blood from the rest of the body back to the heart.
Right. So the valves prevent the blood from, so like say if you have a vein that's coming up your leg. Mm-hmm. So the valves, like, so the blood is being pushed up back to the heart, and the valves will, while the blood's being pushed up, the valves close, and it prevents the blood from backing up, going back down. So that's what it does. It prevents the blood from going, backing up into the rest of your body.
Gotcha.
It holds it there until the heart pumps again and pushes it so that it can go back up to the heart.
Okay, so both of those notes are right?
So the veins carry blood back to the heart. The valves block the blood from backing up into the vein.
Okay,
not
flowing backwards. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right. So I do want you guys to pay attention to this PowerPoint, because you will see this information again very soon. Hint, hint. 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 You will see this information again very soon. Please don't give me anything other than what you have seen on this PowerPoint when you see questions regarding these things. I don't know if you guys know or not, but one of the advantages of taking an exam online versus taking the exam in the class is that you can use the materials that you have been given to complete the exam. You don't have to try to remember the answers. You can use the materials that you have been given to complete the exam. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. So I think that that's it for right now. I will also, I think I'm gonna hold that other PowerPoint and we'll just do that. I'm sorry, y'all, but we're gonna have to do, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'll hold it for next week. But we probably, because we're gonna do the 4 hours, we're probably gonna do the, talk about the equipment for venipuncture. So like I said, come Monday, I need you guys to come in. I need you to do your survey monkey. I need you to wash your hand. And whoever needs to get vital signs done, I need you to get vital signs done. And then we're going to go, because we need to go on so that we can start and actually get into venipuncture. Isn't that fun? So much fun. All right, that's it for me. Remember, medical terminology, chapter 1 and chapter 2, and phlebotomy, chapter 1 through 5. Phlebotomy, chapter 1 through 5. All that's due Friday. I will be sending out your exam here in the next hour. So be looking for that. You should have it by 1 o'clock. If not, well, give me till 2.
You gotta turn in the exam by tomorrow?
No, and yeah, the exam needs to be in by tomorrow noon.
Okay.
Okay. Give me till 2 o'clock, Sandy. She gonna be texting me, talking about, did you send it yet? No, I didn't. All right.
Okay,
Tell
bye.
your Marie, I'm praying for your baby. I'm praying for your baby. And he'll feel better. All right, I'll see y'all.
Y'all wanna? Y'all wanna?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
You want a baby?
No, I didn't have 5. I'm good. I'm good. I've had my quota. I was fruitful and multiplied. Thank you. No. So,
Okay, come.
I'll see y'all later. All right.
Okay.
You too.
Oh
Have
my
a nice
God,
day.
Chad,
Have a
come on,
great
stop.
weekend. No Zoom tomorrow. Don't text me. Don't call me. No Zoom
Okay.
tomorrow. Y'all gonna be busy doing my exam and get that homework back to me.
Okay.
Get that homework back to me. All right. I will see you.
All right.
Take care. All right. Yes, leave here.